I had a purpose before everybody had an opinion.
The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out.
You want Philly?
Chase Utley, you are the man.
You come out backyard and you try to start something, you always get your butt kicked.
The prayers have been answered.
How about those Eagles, baby?
And Rio Muto can run for days.
Can you feel what's about to happen on this field, man?
A perfect game. Roy Halladay has thrown the second perfect game in Philadelphia Phillies history.
All right, we are back with another episode of Philly Talk. Back here again. I am still sick, so I apologize. Another reason why there hasn't been a lot of content coming out is, again, because of my voice. You know, it's just real difficult to record when, you know, you got issues with your throat and voice especially. But hopefully soon more content will be coming out, especially the year-end content that I promised. I know we're already 9 days into the year, and I should have had that stuff out a whole lot earlier, but trust me, it'll be out soon. It's just quite a lot, as you'll see once it comes out. But getting right into it, when it comes to Philly talk, there's just not a whole lot to talk about. Obviously, the main thing, of course, that we're going to be talking about is the wild card matchup. There's no point in really focusing on that Eagles-Giants game. I mean, what else is there to recap really, except we got beat badly. We basically just kind of gave up and accepted that we were going to be the 5 seed at this point. Kind of disappointing, you know, to just kind of end the way this season ended. What were we, like 1-5, I think, to end the season or something like that? Not really the way you want it to end, not really what you want to see from this team, but it is what it is. Obviously, the downside is, losing, and also Sidney Brown tore his ACL, and all you got to ask yourself is how many injuries have to occur on what is it, MetLife? Is that even the name of the stadium? I don't even know, but, you know, when it comes to the Giants and the Jets, how many injuries have to occur on this field, on this turf, before we start realizing the issue at hand with how terrible that field is, you know? Just look at the plethora of injuries that have occurred, you know? We haven't talked about it in a while, but people are always so concerned about the brotherly shove and all that, you know, and people talk about the injuries from that, but yet we are still allowing fields like the Giants and Jets that they play on to be something that's played on, when we see a ton of injuries that are always related to like the ACL and Achilles on there, and we just let it happen, you know. Gotta hope that some type of regulation when it comes to fields, you know, is brought up in the next sort of meetings with like the player association, because it's just terrible that you know, Sidney Brown, you know, has to have his season end like that. But anyways, moving on, of course. But obviously, of course, we got to look towards the wild card round, and what we're looking at specifically is the Bucks. Obviously, that is who we are going to be playing, and it's real tough to really analyze all this, you know, because it's easy to look back at week 3, look at that win, you know, did really good in that win, you know. It was 25-11, and for the most part, the Bucks were never really in that game, you know. They had scored 3 points in the first half while we had 13. We came out, put points on the board, and we pretty much held them for a majority of that game, you know. But that was a very different time than the Eagles team we're looking at now, you know. This was a team that, what is that? Hold on. This is a team that rushed the ball 40 times in that Bucks game, you know. DeAndre Swift had 16 carries for 130 yards. Kenneth Gainwell, 14 for 43. Jalen Hurts, 10 for 28. And to go along with that, we had A.J. Brown, 9 catches for 131 yards. Zacchaeus, 2 catches, 58 yards. Goddard, 5 for 41. Devontae Smith, 4 for 28. Much different game, you know? Completely different game than what we've been seeing as of late. I saw a thing recently where Chris Long was basically saying that the only way he sees this team like doing well is if they get back to rushing the ball. And yeah, look at the difference it made in this game. You know, it helped them control time of possession. It helped them dominate, you know, and open up both sides of, you know, the offense. And that's not something we've really seen these past couple weeks. You look at defensively, we had 2 sacks on the day. We had an interception. And for the most part, we did a pretty decent job holding Baker Mayfield to 146 yards passing. Obviously, we got that interception. And we held the rushing game intact. Pretty much was at 16 attempts on the day from the Bucks rushing. You know, we held the passing in... we held the passing game, you know, pretty much. And it was just like... the week 3 matchup was a perfect, you know, instance of both sides finally playing to their potential. But we haven't necessarily seen that these past couple weeks, you know. So that's what makes this matchup difficult to predict, you know. I obviously think if the Eagles continue to play the way they have, then this could easily be a big wild card loss, you know. Versus if they rush the ball, you know, and actually commit to the run and actually commit to, you know, opening things up in the passing game, targeting stuff over the middle, going to different guys, not really doing these bogus plays, you know. And the most frustrating part is you see them ask the coach and you see them ask Sirianni if they're going to make changes, and they're like, no, we're sticking to what we've done. And it's like, I don't know how you could stick to what you've done when you see how you've been playing these past couple weeks. You know, change is obviously needed, but oh well, you know. But do I believe they can win this game? Obviously, you know. This team is stacked, you know. It's just a matter of playing up to their potential. Not even their potential. Playing up to what we know that they can be, you know. This offense can be a lot better. This defense can be a lot better. There are so many guys that can just be so great, but we're not seeing it, you know, whether that be a coaching issue or the players themselves. It's really difficult to, you know, analyze that, but I do believe they can win this game against the Bucks. I just also wouldn't be surprised if it's a loss because of the mistakes they've been making, you know. It's frustrating to think about, but it's just as simple as that they haven't been playing well, so I wouldn't be surprised by a loss, but I think they win here, you know. I think they do a decent enough job. I think they get one of those close victories that they have had where they squeeze it out, you know. It's obviously going to be on them, you know, and it's going to be a very close game. But I could see them getting past here, and then from there it's just having to figure out from that point on, you know. But real quickly, you know, just to kind of extend this video a bit longer, if you were to ask me, you know, well, what do I see happening if they lose this game? Well, obviously the biggest thing is I fully believe all the coordinators are gone, you know, whether it be Matt Patricia, Sean Desai, Brian Johnson. You may even look at guys like the quarterback coach, some of the wide receiver coaches, some of the defensive back coaches, the defensive line coaches. Like, I couldn't expect like a full clean slate. Obviously the only guy that they'd likely be keeping is our offensive line coach, obviously. But everyone else, I could see, boom, just clean slate, you know. And as far as team-wise, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a couple changes around this roster, you know. Jalen Hurts is obviously safe with the contract he's locked into. DeAndre Swift likely, you know, is going to be brought back. I forget what type of contract he's on. there's no way A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith are, being shipped off, or Dallas Goedert, Offensive line, this could be Kelsey's last year. Who really knows, It's always up to him to decide at the last second, So we'll see what happens there defensively. Oh boy, talk about a ton of changes are going to be happening. I hope we see an overhaul in the linebacking section. Obviously, the defensive back section, Slay and James Bradbury. Who knows what happens with them? Some of the... I don't really know anyone on the defensive line other than, like, Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham. Either their time is up in Philly or they retire. It could just be a real crazy time, If a wild card loss happens, there could be a whole lot of change. Now, I'm not saying they completely blow it up, but, like, it's obviously going to turn into, like, a retooling period where, like, this team was in the Super Bowl just a year ago. What changes do we have to make to get them back, But hopefully they rally. Hopefully they fight with some fire in them, as tough as it is to think that they will or won't because of the way they've been playing these past couple weeks. You obviously just got to hold out that hope. And I look forward to watching, win or lose, always going to be here to support my team and talk about them. So, like I said, I expect to win. I could see a loss happening, but I expect to win, and all you can really do is take it one game at a time, When it comes to the postseason, it's a different animal, but it's 0-0. The record is 0-0. It's up to them to move forward with that clean slate.